Now Biden's, close to vegetable stage, in my opinion. Okay, I looked at him today on the beach, and I said, why would anybody allow him? The guy could barely walk. Why would anybody allow him? Does
Yeah.
he have a political advisor that thinks this looks good? He thinks this looks good because it looks so bad, and it's ridiculous. I mean, and he's been doing
Right.
that
Right.
for a long time. He can't lift the chair. The chair weighs about 3 ounces. It's meant for children and old people to lift, and he can't
Yeah.
lift it. The whole thing is
Well,
crazy.
he's clearly not, I mean, he's clearly like we just don't have a president right
You
now.
don't
That's
have a
just obviously the
president, and
case.
she's going to be worse than.
I honestly believe that Trump's ability to just effortlessly roast people is what won him the 2016 election. No one had ever seen anything quite like it before, and there was something genuine about it. Trump didn't need all of the political ads telling lies about his opponent with the dramatic voice actors. Trump didn't need, all of the mainstream news outlets to have his back and to promote his message or to tear down his opponents. No. All Trump needed was himself and his ability to just not quite give a damn what people think about what he has to say. In many ways, I believe Trump was like a bull in a china shop. And in some situations, that can be bad, right? When you think of a bull in a china shop, that can be a bad thing, right? You don't want your plates and stuff getting destroyed. But then when you think of a bull in a china shop in Washington, D.C., right? I believe we needed someone to come not come in Washington, D.C. We needed someone to come into Washington, D.C. and run amok, to mess things up a bit, to really get people stirred up. We needed someone to come into Washington, D.C. and break all the fine china. And that's what Donald Trump did. And that's why they hate him. Because at the end of the day, they can't beat him with words. They have the entire mainstream media on their side. And still it's not enough. It's like Trump is a one-man army. He not only goes up against his political opponents, but he has to take on CNN. He has to take on MSNBC, ABC, CBS. I mean, what other news outlets can we think of? And not to mention every freaking celebrity you can think of. It's like Trump against the world in many ways, yet he still holds his own. And I think that's why, I just think that's something that a lot of people respect about him. But Elon Musk is right. It's like we don't have a president. And this is something that I've been saying for a while now. If you've been watching my videos, then you've probably been getting tired of me saying it so many times. But Joe Biden is no longer president, folks. Joe Biden is no longer president. Of course, he was never really running the show. But I mean, at this point, he's basically not doing anything. It's already over. And there's also some health issues going on behind the scenes. We'll talk about that in a future video. But Elon Musk and Donald Trump had a lot more to say. I want you all to listen to this clip really quickly. Then I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech, because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly with with false attacks, and you didn't try to shut down the media. You didn't try to inhibit their freedom of speech, and I think that says a lot.
Well, the good thing is that you and I have, and some people, very few, we can get the word out. Although sometimes it's hard because they don't want to print it. Like we're having a great conversation right now. Kamala wouldn't have this conversation. She can't because she's not
No.
smart. She's not a smart person, by the way. She can't have this conversation. And Biden, we don't even have to talk about it. I mean, he couldn't have this conversation. He would have given up on the first half of a question. He would have walked out. He would have said, "Where am I? Where am I going?" So anyway, but
Yeah,
no, he wouldn't have this.
that's true.
Not a lot of people would have this conversation, but we cover a lot of territory. But the beauty is that we can have a conversation, and
Yes, you
I'm
can actually
able
have a
to get it out
conversation.
without because I get treated
This is a
unfairly
this is
by
a
the
really
press.
big point. You can actually have a conversation with you,
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
and you can't have a conversation with Biden or Kamala. It's like not it's not possible.
That's true.
Um,
It's
so this is like talking to an NPC.
nice.
Elon called Biden and Kamala Harris NPCs, and that's exactly what they are. NPC president, NPC vice president, and most of the people who vote for them are brainwashed NPCs as well. Now, if you don't know what an NPC is, NPC stands for non-playable character. If you play video games, sometimes you're walking down the street and there's these different people in the video game that you can't play as. You're the main character in a video game. And all of these other characters are just, the computer. They're non-playable characters. They can't think for themselves. And that's why people call people like Kamala Harris and Biden NPCs, because they don't think for themselves. They're kind of hooked up to the system, if you will. They're part of the matrix. They're already pre-programmed to do what they're going to do. They don't make free decisions. They don't have free will like people like me and you, right? So the sooner people realize that the majority of people on Earth are not main characters, folks. The majority of people on Earth are NPCs. And that's why this election is even going to be sort of close, because we're surrounded by NPCs. Now, in a world filled with main characters where everyone actually thought for themselves and saw things for what they were, most people wouldn't even think twice about voting for someone like Kamala Harris. But, as Elon was saying, you can't talk to them. You cannot talk to these people. But it seems like anyone can sit down and have a conversation with Donald Trump. I'm literally seeing Donald Trump every freaking day, to the point that I'm tired of seeing the guy. And I don't mean that in like a mean or a harsh way, but it's like, oh my God, dude, does Trump ever get tired? Every freaking day, a rally, interview here, interview there, phone call there, live stream there. I mean, he does a lot for someone his age, and he'll sit down and he'll have a conversation with anyone. And that is something that you will never see from Joe Biden. It's something you will never see from Kamala Harris. And I'll be honest with you, it's something that you'll probably never see from other politicians, even on the right, Republicans as well. Okay, I want to make myself clear here. You wouldn't see stuff like this from other Republican candidates either. This is something unique to Trump, where he's just kind of fully transparent. You might not like his plans, you might not like how he says things, but he tells you what he wants to do and what he's planning on doing. And I think he's well aware that a lot of people don't like some of the stuff that he says, but he still says it. And he'll still talk to you and have the conversation, even if you hate him. But for now, I want you all to have a conversation down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.